Hi everyone, get ready to inflate your creativity. Today we're going to do a balloon garland tutorial. Now let's start with the foundation of our garland. We'll be using 52 balloons in alternating sizes. Divide balloons by color. I'm using a mix of olive green, beige, yellow, brown to create a soft, whimsical look. To tie the balloons together, I'm using a simple knot technique. Make sure to leave about an inch between each balloon. Push a little of air to give a round shape. Tie 2 balloons, then twist these 2 together. And do the same thing again and again. Usually when I don't have 5-inch balloons, I usually just use the 12-inch and make them a little bit smaller so that it can help me when I'm doing my garland, so that it has different sizes. So I make some of them smaller than the others. When I release the air and make it round, it's usually some of them are a little bit smaller than the initial one. And then we're gonna do the yellow color. This one, at least we had an 18-inch balloon as well, so we're gonna use that when we're making our pair. And then we're going to make a quad, different sizes, so some are a little bit bigger than others and some will be a little bit smaller than the other. Then here we'll pump the bigger one, so I make sure that I always hold the other one side and then I tie both sides because I don't like air coming out of my balloons. So yeah, once I've pumped it, I'm going to put them together into making the 3 quad. We continue doing the process: pump, release, tie, put it into a pair, and then pump, tie, release, tie, and then put it into a quad. Make the 2 of them and put it on the side. Then you do the same thing, pump a little less, release, and then tie, put them together, and then do the same thing, pump, release, tie, then release, tie as well, tie together into making a pair, from a pair making a quad. And we do the same thing again, pump, release, tie, pump, release, tie, then do it again, pump, release, tie, and release, tie, and put it together and put it on the side. So now you can see your balloons are becoming more and more, but at least when you do this and put them on the side and when they're already put together, it's easier, so that if it's windy, they won't go away. They will have a little bit of weight. So if you're gonna do it, because depending on the venue that you're going to do the setup at, sometimes you need to make sure that they're already put together so that they don't go away with the wind. And yeah, so you just continue to repeat the same process, and as long as you know where you're going to put it, so depending where you're going to put your balloon garland, just make sure that you pump enough balloons for where you're going to put the balloons. So here I'm going to make a little bit smaller balloons so that I have small balloons in between as well. So the different sizes that I had mentioned earlier will take effect when you start making the garland. So making them smaller also just helps manipulate the garland, especially when you have to install it. So you will see that when you're installing it, then you have to put less smaller balloons when they're already included onto the garland. So I always make sure that I make smaller ones also. So the idea is to have as many small balloons as the bigger ones that we did that had different sizes. So you have the same quads that you had in the bigger colors, so same colors. So if you have the brown, if you had 2 quads, you have to do also 2 quads of the brown in smaller balloons. Now we use twine to make our balloon garlands, so we're gonna tie a knot at the beginning so that when we are securing our balloon garland or putting it on the backdrop, we just use that tied knot, and then we also use it to take it around our balloon at the beginning of making the balloon garland. So I just stand up to show you how we do the balloon garland. So now you're going to take the smaller balloons and then put them together to the smaller quads, and then you pick which color you want to take next. So we picked yellow on this one. So usually the technique is to take it around the bottom balloon, and then on the top balloon you secure it, doing it twice. So you take the one, put it on top, put the twine under the other yellow one, and then on the top one you do it twice. So take the twine, take it around 2 balloons, the one on the bottom and the one on the top, and then you repeat the process. So remember when we were saying we do the balloons different sizes, this is the reason why, so that when you want your garland to be organic, to have different sizes, so it's not just one size. So this is how we're just going to put it together, and as the more you do the twine, you can see the different sizes coming together. And then also you can even see the 18-inch balloons do make the balloon garland pop out a little bit more, because there's like a different size to it. So depending on the size of the backdrop, you're going to do the balloons that fit the backdrop. But then these are the balloons I had pumped, and these are the extra ones I had also had to pump on the side to add on, because I had noticed that my garland was a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be. So you just repeat the process, the bigger balloons and then the smaller balloons in between, and then the twine. This is where we have when we're done. After you're done, you're going to cut your twine and then tie it and secure it with a balloon at the top. That way, then we're done. The installation of the balloon garland to our backdrops. So this is where the backdrops that we're going to be using for the baby shower. So I was just checking if it was secured. So I was using this structure as like a securing point for me to put my balloon garland together. So here I was just taking the balloons around that arc, and also making sure that once I've done that, I can be able to put it around my backdrop and how it's going to look. So I use a ladder to go up, and then to also secure the top part of the balloon onto our backdrop. So luckily at the venue there was also somewhere we could put the balloon structure so that it can be secure. Once we've done with that, we just make sure that the balloon has a style. So the style was to take the balloons onto that structure that we had brought around it, so that it could have the structure that we were looking for. So this is me just checking it out and then checking how it's going to look with the cheer on it. So I think the idea was to add more balloons onto the top so that we can add on. So we were just now adding on the balloons to have more balloons onto our backdrop, to have a little bit of definition to it, or to add some definition to it. So we just added some balloons. So usually you just continue using the twine, but you are going to tie it again onto your garland, and then start making balloon garland from the backdrop. So here I had to make more balloons, and then I had to add them. This is a final look. I hope you love it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.